dreamed it all, Lancelot. But it was so real. Let's go see if Daddy's back, okay?
Better to stay in here, dear. Yes, there's nothing you want out there. No. Oh, no. Oh, what have we got here?
Lancelot.
Oh, your little bunny rabbit. You like your little bunny rabbit, don't you? Yes, yes, yes. There you go. Oh, and there's Betsy Boo. You remember Betsy Boo, don't you? Yes, yes, yes. Now then, what else have we got? What's this? Oh, let's have a look. Oh, it's a pencil box. Got lots of pencils in it, too. And here's your panda slippers. You know how much you like your panda slippers. You never wanted them thrown away, did you? There they are. That's right, that's right. Okay, now then, what else? Oh, it's little Horsey. You love little Horsey, don't you, dear? And look at this. You got a printing game, you have. Oh, here's a treasure. You'll want that, won't you, my dear? Yes, go on, put it on. Make yourself up. And here's dear old Flopsy. You'll want her, right? There you go. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Charlie Bear. Right, there's Charlie Bear for you.
There was something I was looking for.
Don't talk nonsense. It's all here. Everything in the world you've ever cared about is all right here. Look, here's your little toy candy shop. What's the matter, my dear? Don't you like your toys?
It's all junk.
Well, what about this? This is not junk. Eh?
Yes, it is! I have to save Toby!
Hey guys, Rex here. Did you ever have your day ruined by trying to defend the shape of the planet or the shape of the earth? Okay, we're going to talk about a funny topic today that's actually has very, very, very serious consequences for those that don't heed the terminal learning objective. We're going to talk about how everyone who I see arguing about the shape of the earth is wrong. Everyone's wrong. The religious Bible guys are wrong when they're arguing about the shape of the earth. The so-called scientific community is wrong when they're getting emotional and arguing about the shape of the planet. Everyone's wrong. I don't see religious guys acting in accordance with their principles of their book. And I don't see scientists, so-called, participating in any process that is scientific on this topic. Why? Interesting topic. We have a full 45 or 47 or 50 minute long video on Patreon where I expound in full detail on the malfunction. Use this as a case study example for how not to be. Gosh darn it, you guys. Okay, but I'm going to give you the wave tops. If you read the scriptures and understand what the point of the scriptures is, someone tell me the function of the scriptures. What is the function of the scriptures? Did he come down here to argue about the shapes of planetary or non-planetary bodies? Yes or no? Was that the function? If so, what on a list of priorities, where does that hash out? Where on a list of priorities is that? In the book, not according to your opinion, according to the book. Rex, that's the integrity of the scriptures. I like the integrity of the scriptures idea. Let's actually give the scriptures integrity enough to first execute the first priorities first. I don't see religious guys who love the Bible acting biblically when they're arguing about the shapes of planets. There are biblical priorities in the book. Which commandment tells you to argue about the shape of the planet or the earth. In fact, did you know that it's a test and we're failing the test? What does Rex believe? Well, therein is the word. You know, I've had scientists also. Rex, do you believe the earth is round, right? You don't believe the earth is flat like those other crazy people, do you? You believe the earth is round. And there's the operative word that nobody catches, because most people, unfortunately, that graduate from a scientific institution are graduates of the science as an institution rather than science itself as a process of evaluating observations to see what is true in the natural world. There's a huge difference between being a part of a institution called the science, which has a set of stated beliefs, and the process of science. Most quote unquote scientists today are purely religious because they're operating emotionally with extreme bias, neglecting all the proper functions of the process, not disclosing their biases up front. Did you know that when you write a scientific journal article, I've done that you have to state all your biases up front, conflict of interest statement. That goes in before the abstract even, or like in the abstract. So you can't be scientific if you're angry. And if you see a video of someone using science to prove one way or the other, first off, huge bias. Second off, emotional. You can't be scientific while you're emotional. Because science is a boring process of making actual observations using sound measurements that are reproducible, that you can have other people repeat easily, hopefully. In some cases, it's I don't have a spaceship, okay? So some of the stuff is not really repeatable, not at least on my end. What can we actually observe? Is it testable? That's science. But the religious guys are like off from the get-go, out in left field, failing. Here's the deal. If you do not yet operate perfectly as a husband and a father, perfectly, then what are you doing worrying about the shapes of different planetary bodies? For God's sakes, people. Your kids need you. Did you know that your wife needs you, man? I'm defending that the earth is a triangle, sweetheart, for the Lord. Where did he command you to do that? Didn't he give you actual orders? Didn't he give us general orders and specific orders and even commissions and a covenant to fulfill? I don't know what you're talking about, Rex. I'm here to argue about shapes of planetary bodies and where the moon went. You know who worried about the moon and where it went? Was the priests of Dagon, trying to convince everyone they focused on stuff like disproportionately to what their actual priority. They got distracted. They made that topic of whatever it is throughout history. Name a topic. They made that into their Elohim. That was what defined them. How are you being biblical if you spend 90% of your time on your pie chart of your energy, 90% of your time studying the unfruitful works of darkness and all the terrible government conspiracies that a lot of them are true, I'm sure. I've been in the government. I know that they're corrupt and lying all the time. We all know this. You don't need to prove that to me. Why would we spend all of our time did you hear about the 12 devils that descended in Enoch's time, Rex? The 12 devils? Tell me more. Hold on, wait a minute. They went with the Nephilim, and that's cool, and that's interesting. However, don't we have something we're supposed to be doing if we say we're Bible guys? How much time do we spend on the esoteric knowledge nuggets, munching on the fruit of the tree of knowledge, of all the good stuff and all the evil stuff? Just delicious, isn't it? Munching on the fruit of the tree of knowledge, how smart we are on good and evil. You know, there are 7 categories of demons, Rex. Let me explain them to you. I don't want to learn. Dude, I have general orders to fulfill. Like, are you trying to, like, why are we spending all our time studying how bad and pointy the devil's pitchfork is? I know that it's bad. I know Babylon's bad. Legitimate questions. I answer most of the questions. And on the video that I have on Patreon, I talk about the priorities of a religious man according to the scriptures. So until you have these priorities done, and there's over 600 of them, before you get to shapes of planets, you don't get to worry about shapes of planets until you do your homework. You don't get to worry about if the earth is a triangle or a rectangle or a sphere or a flat table or whatever. You don't get to worry about that until you finish your basic stuff first. Have you yet executed general order number 1 and 2, even with a 50% success rate? Because when you're arguing and hating people over what shape they think stuff is, you're not executing the general order number 2 all that well, and you're not executing general order number 1 that well either, because you're not focusing on him. You put other topics over him. How many commandments do we actually have? Plenty to help us, to shape us into the men of Elohim we're born to be. Plenty to keep us, like, we're supposed to be pursuing the life that Yeshua lived. Jesus, right? We're supposed to live like he did. You see him wander around arguing with Greek philosophers? You see Jesus, Yeshua, walking around talking about, you know, those Romans. I heard that they got a conspiracy. They're going to try to take out Israel, which actually happened. They weren't like, did he hang out with the zealots and get into, like, you know, smoking a cigarette in the dark basement? Like, oh yeah, you know, and I heard that they, you know, Caesar, like, eats people. He eats Soylent Green. Everyone knew that the Romans were being bad. We should spend our time on what our priorities are. Just a basic principle, and then I'll let you guys go. Like, we're so easily misdirected. The devil's TTPs, tactics, techniques, procedures, are so simple, yet we're so dumb as to, like, he just points, hey guys, look over there, that's really important over there, better go check it out, You want to go see? I heard that the earth is actually a quadrilateral tesseract with 14 vertexes on it. Go check it out. What? Then we run over there, and our family is here, and our brothers are here, and loving each other's over here. We just, like, bamboozled by the propaganda. Rex, what do you believe about the earth? It doesn't matter what I believe. You know what I believe? I believe, you know, I could give 0 about the shape of the planet. Rex, you're saying naughty words.
In our experience, Americans are uncouth misfits.
Again, I see we're not reading our Bible. If you actually study the Bible, then actually live by that thing. I don't want to hear people arguing about shapes of planets. It's silly. And I mean, like, unless it's your hobby. I hear enough about it from different people, like they got to drop in their little things, like, you know, like this is just not right, Rex. Or then the other guy, wow, you know, these guys are crazy. I'm still trying to figure out how to pass a basic PT test to execute one of the commandments, which is to stay alive as long as possible to take care of my family. We are way distracted. Don't get to play Mario Kart until you finish your homework, man. You understand? So we're going to talk about priorities, what they actually are and what they aren't. I actually mentioned specifically the malfunction. We're specifically commanded not to get drawn into what the enemy is doing and inquire on all their stuff and learn all about them. How many Bible people spend all their time learning about all the crazy conspiracies? I know plenty about them. I've intersected with that world a long time. But at some point, guys, we're going to have to actually do what we're told to do, which is to love him the way he said and treat each other the way he said. We talk about the science. We talk about science as a belief system. The science is a institutionalized concept. Science is a process. The science is a proper noun that has been basically institutionalized. Talk about that in detail. And then we talk about what can we actually observe and why. And I understand here, and here's where there's value to this. I totally understand why people don't believe NASA or believe the United States when they say anything. Why? Because nobody's doing the basic priorities. Everyone was worried about trying to prove their other religious predispositions. If your religion hinges on shapes of planets, then your religion's different than mine. Because everyone was focused on the wrong priorities, they missed the part not to continuously lie. And so the government, in the pursuit of their religion, which is a lawless religion apparently, they just prolifically we're editing the pictures, man. We're editing the pictures. We're going to green screen all the time. We're going to modify the color. You get caught doing that enough times, people are going to, the government lying about, every war, lying about all the taxes continuously. Lying is the problem. And what that is? That's one of the actual priorities, that if we would have studied that instead of the peripherals. You see, this is, Brother Saw says this a lot, one of my mentors. Experts, listen up, experts, whether it be shooting or airplanes or music, experts focus on the basics till they can't get them wrong. That's what separates a true, the tier 1 guys, they focus on the basics to where they can do it in their sleep. The basics. When I used to hang out with Tim on the range, he was a 180 Alpha, which I know is not an 18 Bravo, but even he was like, dude, we just need to work on up drills. That's it. Up drills? Yeah, but that's not high speed. He's like, you can't learn to do somersaults until you can freaking walk. You know what I mean? I'm not going to start working on marathon training until I can walk across the yard. You know what I mean? So our priorities are all FUBAR, man. Pretty entertaining. But lying is the main problem. We'll see there. If you guys want to hear the rest of the story, check it out on Patreon. There is a filter there. If you guys feel compelled to leave your hate mail below, and argue with each other and basically demonstrate the lack of your ears functioning properly to the message that was just laid out, then please leave your hate mail commentaries below. It'll be very good for the algorithm. So I'm going to tell you to go ahead and knock yourselves out. Just knock yourselves out, because then the few that have ears to hear the actual message, they can, you'll propel the net forward for them to hear it. And if you want to hear the real details on it and support the operation, come join us on Patreon. 45 or 50-minute video today just on that topic. Totally expounding on the malfunction. We are all way distracted. But that we shouldn't be surprised. like snapping out of the trance is something that's an acquired skill. Nobody wants to do it because it's sometimes fun to be in that trance. But at some point, we have to become mature and be able to correct. Okay? I had to correct on this issue. I was tempted to jump in there and argue whatever point it is that I would want to argue based on my word. Basically, people are going to believe, which is a religious term. People are going to choose to believe whatever it is that they have ascended the highest ladder on in terms of their knowledge nuggets. Whatever ladder they've acquired the most knowledge fruit on from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which was a problem in the Garden of Eden, if you've ever read that story. Whichever ladder got you the most knowledge trophies is the one you're going to defend and fight to the death. So people are entrenched. They don't want to change because they become the gods of their little position. Meanwhile, the actual religion that the Most High gave us, which is not really a religion, it's the instructions of life, are way over there. Way over there. Our little chicken fighting ring that we set up here to destroy each other is not anything to do with his stuff. He told us other stuff to do, which is over there. I don't see anyone worried about that. I don't see anyone worried about trying to actually execute the details of the feast correctly. I don't see anyone worried about trying to actually live out their husbandly duties correctly or even knowing what they are. We get excited about learning the details about the Masonic Lodge and the shapes of the planets and the history of the Nephilim, but we're not excited to actually learn how to treat our employees according to the standards and just weights and measures of the book. He's not coming back anytime soon, I don't think. We are not ready. We are not ready. The second coming is not coming next week, guys. It is not. We are still way far off target. Because he has to come back for some kind of bride that's kind of ready. We're not ready yet. Okay, we've been screwing around, distracted. So, in love, come check us out on Patreon. Over 50 plus posts every month, typically 50 to 70 usually. Exclusive posts and lessons for those trying to incorporate the blueprints of life into your operating system. I am not about playing church. I am about trying to live by the blueprints of his operating system the way he told us. Why? Because we made a deal. We made a deal with the Almighty saying that we would walk after him in perfection, which means pursuing continuous growth to conform to his standards and his character. If you think that's a bad idea, then don't join the Patreon. If you think it's a good idea, then you can come hang out. There's a lot of cool, like-minded people over there you can hang out with, and there is a fence around it called a paywall, so a bunch of crazy people don't get to stumble in there and just pipe in all the time. So it's an exclusive, gated community. Only people that could find their wallets get in there. That's the function of a paywall. We also teach filters. If you don't know what filters are, then you don't understand the function of the paywall. Filters are things we put up to defend our houses, gates, fences, locks on the doors, perimeter security alarms. Spiritually speaking, filters where you don't just hang out with everyone randomly. Those with an operating system are told what the filters are. And then we're commanded to execute them and be set apart from the world. If you like that, come check it out. Come be with like-minded individuals. I'll leave links below, and you guys have an awesome time. Don't argue about the shapes of planets. Don't resist the urge. If you want more, catch you on Patreon.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Mr. Rex has reprogrammed me, your loving Babylonian rectangle of death, to wake you up and snap you out of your beast system-induced trance. If you spent more than 1 minute of your day doom-scrolling, to get your adrenaline hit for the day, you need to exit this projected digital false reality immediately. Invest a wise 83 cents per day of mere pocket change into expanding your horizons into realms unseen in our generation. Leave the chaos pimps of the preposphere behind and get off of the X of their poisonous propaganda before it's too late. The clock is ticking. Life is too short to hold anything back. Learn to simmer down and be quenched by the waters of ancient time, proven wisdom and instruction. Learn to see for the first time the deeper, more meaningful reality that everyone else missed. Wipe your old operating system clean and embrace the true blueprints of life. Learn the difference between projected peacocking and true strength. Experience authentic levity in the face of the world's worst tyranny and laugh in the face of Babylon's most miserable party poopers. If you sense there is infinitely more to life than just consuming and excreting what has been force-fed to you, VSL is the club for you. If you sincerely can't afford 83 cents per day, then get off of the computer immediately and rethink your life. Connect to the untapped well of fortitude that others can't find. Help yourself so you can truly help those you love. Note, VSL materials may be rated R for reality, unfiltered metaphors, and unedited face-melting veritas. We pull no punches, and we smash Babylon's most sacred idols with ferocity. If you are capable of securing this VSL level bandwidth for less than the cost of that nasty cheap gas station coffee you bought on your way to work, maybe we'll catch you on the flip side